I think the last narrative episode with Chris and Rachel, I think that was a really good episode. So I think we've done one good episode in 15 years.
We've done a number of good episodes. We've also had we also had at least one episode I refused to release.
Right.
Which I think was an episode before your time, maybe.
Yes, it was. Yeah, I heard the story, but yeah.
And then we had one episode that is literally released as like the cursed episode. It doesn't even, it's like 200x because the recording system just completely shit the bed.
I forgot about that.
But but for the most part, we've been pretty good. And I think we have put out some particularly good episodes.
Yeah, maybe.
Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
Welcome to Preferred Enemies, the Warhammer 40k podcast that has a sneak preview to discuss. I'm your host, Rob.
Kevin.
Dennis.
And Richard.
And yeah, this is kind of a big one. We're kind of breaking a little bit of a rule on this one. I know in the past we basically said we don't talk about rumors and we generally don't talk about leaks. But we've actually had something fall into our laps. I'm not going to say how, although this does have some provenance, but we have managed to get our hands on what looks to be the contents of 11th edition, the new edition coming out this summer. And Kevin, you actually were the first to get your hands on it, and you've had more time to look at it than we have.
Yeah.
And I know normally we would get into like news and new releases and talk about, stuff that's going on. And we've just had the Adepticon reveal, and we technically should be talking about that. But this is bigger than all of that, I think, at this point. So
yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm really excited to see this. I've been busy moving, so I haven't had any time to look at it. So
yeah, no, this is, again, we can't say exactly where we got this from, but I believe that this is 100% like GW official. The person I got it from, like, I completely trust. So I'm very excited. I've had a chance to read through it more than, like I said, everyone else has. So what I'm going to do is just kind of, we're going to go deep on this. We're going to go through the whole thing. We're going to, talk about every section. But I figured what we'd start with is kind of my overview thoughts of, like, these are things that I noticed as changes. And I've kind of broken those up into a couple sections. So I'll just kind of start going through it and then let you guys chime in with what you guys think about this, because I'm very excited. Honestly, part of the reason why we're doing this and dropping this emergency episode is, like, I kind of want to be able to, like, scoop Goonhammer, and, like, we don't get an opportunity to do that very often. Like,
no, we do not. Normally they're the ones with the pipeline on this, so it's kind of good to be able to get ahead for once.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for us to hopefully, like, grow the channel, grow the podcast and get it out there for more people. And I mean, this is exciting. So let's kind of jump into it. First section that I wanted to go over was just some of the core rule changes that I noticed as I was thumbing through the PDF and looking at it. Model profiles mostly look the same. They didn't add in any of the extra stats, like for the Horus Heresy, where they added in a few, like, extra stats, kind of taking it back to Rogue Trader. Everything looks the same. You have your strength, your wounds, all of that. The one thing I did notice is just across the board, it does seem like most models appear to have lost wounds. I don't know if that's more of a balance thing where they're trying
to make it killy again.
Yeah,
that's kind of an odd choice, because they've been kind of pushing, like, hey, the game is going to be more survivable. That was, like, one of the things going into 10th. Like, this is going to be a less lethal version. It did not pan out that way, so I guess they're just leaning into it now. Yeah,
this feels like they're going to they're trying to make this killier and a little bit faster. I have vehicles kind of in their own section here because there's some changes to vehicles, but I also noticed something very similar. It feels like vehicles have a lot less wounds than they did before. So yeah, that's the first thing that I kind of noticed. Like, no Horus Heresy style stat line changes, but definitely some shifts within the profiles. They specifically called out in the book, as I was kind of thumbing through like a little call out section, that base sizes are not specified. So it's basically like use the bases that are provided with the model. I'm a little bit disappointed in that because I was hoping they would have like the faction pack like specific base list that they had in 10th, but it is what it is.
Well, maybe they're like not specifying it on the data sheet, but kind of doing what they do now where it's going to be in like a tournament packet.
Yeah, there's a few things in here that are kind of missing, so I assume that they are coming back in the chapter approved or mission packs or stuff like that. So one thing that I did notice as well is that characters can still join units. You can still have leaders in units. It feels less restrictive than it was in 10th. Like, I couldn't find anything in here on any of the profiles of limiting, what units a character can join. So I think that's good to have that kind of opened back up a little bit where you can just slot in characters to lead units and open up some of the list building flexibility. Because I feel like with, 8th and 9th edition where leaders weren't part of units at all, 10th edition kind of like went back and let you join some. This feels like it's opening it back up to let everybody join kind of all of the units.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't hate that. That's always been one of the frustrations is like, I want to have this character be able to join this. Oh, well, it's like what we talked about with Crucible Champions, where it's like, there's all these gaps that we've had in like newer codexes where there's just not enough characters that can join certain units. So no, that's good. That's good. I don't hate that.
You mentioned Crucible of Champions. I'll skip ahead to this part that I noticed a little bit later. The Crucible of Champions stuff is not in here. Like it's not listed that way. However, I think they did a compromise because it feels like there's more generic leader profiles and a lot of them have options, points options and equipment options that can be built right into the character. So I think that's kind of taking some of the principles of Crucibles of Champions and maybe focusing them a little bit, providing a little more prefab for them, but still giving some of that flexibility on characters, which I like, and I think is something that we wanted to see in the new edition.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
Kind of going back to like just the core rule changes. Leadership morale appears to be back to a roll under system. I don't know. Leadership morale's always been a thing that never works exactly the way I want it to in these editions. So it's kind of interesting that it looks to be like they're flipping back to kind of a different pattern with the leadership mechanic.
If it's something where I don't fail all my saves, I'm happy with it.
No, you'll just roll high instead of low. You know how this.
No, I'm good at rolling low.
It feels like it feels like it's one of those where it's kind of 6 and 1, half dozen the other. I don't know. They keep going back and forth on this.
I liked the consistency of everything being a roll high system in 10th, but it's also weird that it's the one that you check on 2 dice rather than 1. So yeah, maybe it's just a flip flop because they're like, it's not quite. We're going to try something else with this to get to stick. And they've had more success with like Horus Heresy and seeing how it works there now that they've got like 3 editions of that under their belt.
Yeah, I definitely noticed. That's one of those through lines that I noticed. There's a lot of consistencies and like lessons taken from the Horus Heresy editions that appear to have been applied to these. And I like that. I think it's good that they're taking lessons from these other games, what works, what doesn't work. And it appears that Leadership's one of those where they're going to switch back to, the older style of system, obviously probably some tweaks here and there. The big one that I know everybody is excited about, Scattered Dice and Templates. There is a whole page spread in here for Scattered Dice and Templates.
All right,
so Blast Templates are back. Flamer Templates are back.
That I kind of sometimes miss those. It goes against streamlining the game, but
yeah. Well, and I think it's interesting because with some of the other areas that they're streamlining, like if the game is more killy, if like there's less wounds and it's like easier to kill things, I don't know. Like I think that maybe bringing something fun like Scatter Templates that maybe slow the game down, maybe be a little less efficient. Provides
it
opportunity.
Also helps, I guess. Like there's currently like you could take 10 Man Flamer units, thinking Infernus Marines. Now you'd have to spread those guys out so they didn't flame each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
exactly.
And, like assuming this just gets applied to anything that has blast as a as a weapon keyword is, you can keep the same stat line and just change out what does blast mean. I mean, I guess, and there's very few feel bads like when you have a weapon that has that they've changed to represent like the randomness of a blast weapon, and you end up rolling like one attack. Like that's not been great either. Also, let's face it, Games Workshop is a model company, and they're there to sell product, and this is another line of things that they can sell, another line of accessories. So I mean,
maybe for you, I still have mine.
for us, for
Right.
old heads who have like multiple sets of templates floating around. But I'm saying for new players, they're going to have to make sure, like, I mean, think about the debacle with mission, like chapter approved cards. If they can't get enough of these in stores, I mean, I'm assuming the starter box for the edition is going to include this.
I would assume, yeah.
But they're going to have to sell sets otherwise. I mean, it's not that people won't be able to
sell
hunt
sets
on
for the
eBay.
Heresy, and they sell sets for the Heresy as well. So and for
Necromunda,
Sigmar,
yeah,
and Necromunda. Sorry. So I don't think finding the templates will be hard, but I don't know. That's one for me personally. I'm kind of glad they brought back. Along with that, with having the scatter dice mechanic, precision deep strike rules have just been rolled into the core rules. So it's no longer kind of this separate, extra kind of add-on system. Like now there's a little bit of that danger back to deep striking.
Which they couldn't do if
fun.
the scatter dice weren't back.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the things where it's like it brings in some of that randomness, risk reward back, and I like that.
We use that in our narrative games, so
Absolutely. This is another trend that like went away in 8th, 9th edition, and then like 10th brought it back a little bit, and then 11th is continuing this. There's a lot more universal special rules in the core book, like in the core rules this time. Just a lot of like things, which I think is good because it means that you've got like standard rules that you can just point to and say, okay, this is how blast works, this is how deep strike works, this is how leaders work, things like that. Just makes it a lot easier to be able to have like one section where a lot of those very common rules, and you're not having things like feel no pain or what's the one that we used to have, like, or like objective secured or something like that, like where it all kind of works differently, like within each faction. Now they're going to be a lot more consistent going forward.
Or you'd have different factions have like the exact same rule, but they'd be named different.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like that's one thing that's like bugged me. Like as much as they started coming back to universal special rules in 10th, OBSEC is a perfect example. Like you have all these different units that will have effectively the same rule, and they'll even have detachments that say, oh hey, for like we just talked about the pirate detachments like an episode or so back, and like, oh hey, Onroth units have sticky objectives. It's like you could just say, if you just had an objective secured rule, you could just say they have objective secured. Boom, you're done.
And then it's consistent. Well, and then it's easier to update when you do your chapter approved or your balanced data slates. You just update the special rule, and boom, it flows down to everything else.
Right. And I know when we've done our past like grade cards on the edition, I know I've been one of the ones who's saying I want more universal special rules so that we're just not seeing the same sustained hits, lethal hits over and over again. Having a wider variety to pick and choose from is I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that design space.
Yes, for sure. One of the other areas where they've definitely revamped some things as well is armor penetration. Looking at just kind of weapons, and I haven't looked through all of them, but there's one that jumped out to me, and this is going to be controversial because I don't understand how they can balance this. This feels like maybe it's a misprint. I'm 100% sure that this is like legit, so I don't know. Maybe this will be FAQ'd. Bolt guns are AP5, which feels wild. Again, it seems like they want this to be a much more deadly shooting edition, but that AP5 on a standard bolt gun's crazy.
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess unless you have invulnerable saves. I mean, I guess does that make demons the new meta because they're like the one army that can shrug off bolters?
Maybe. And I'll skip ahead to this a little bit here, but demons are fully included in this. Like they're listed in the factions, so maybe more invuln saves are going to exist. So they didn't do this is not a full reset edition, so they didn't publish like all like army lists or anything. They just publish like the profiles. So I don't know. Maybe they're adding more invuln saves. Maybe they're adding stratagems or something that can add in protection. I'll admit I didn't read through the terrain section very fully yet. So like I haven't had a chance to grok all of the impacts on terrain. Maybe terrain makes AP different. I don't know. But AP 5 on bolt guns feels like it's going to be a problem.
Well, maybe that's a thing, because right now we're just kind of in like there's that weird binary of you're either in line of sight or like a ruin completely blocks line of sight.
Yeah.
Or maybe it gives cover, but I mean cover's still not going to protect you from AP 5. I mean that.
Yeah, that feels. I mean, I get it that Space Marines are supposed to be, the super badass guys, but that feels like Space Marines are going to be overpowered out of the box. But it's a new edition. They probably want to sell whatever models are coming in the new starter box.
And we like we did in our like what is expected, like what we're guessing for 11th edition. Like Dennis, one of yours was like some army is going to be overpowered right off the box, and they're going to have to errata them. So Space Marines apparently.
Yeah.
Well, what about Sisters? Sisters have bolt guns too, right?
Yeah. See, and Sisters are currently a problem in some.
So just Imperium.
So. Well, except for Guard. It sucks to be Guard, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you're going to want to take those bolt guns in your, those heavy bolters and stuff in your Guard squads as much as you can.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, bolt guns feel like they're going to be the new meta, which is kind of weird. Let's see here what else we've got. Oh, so it's interesting. Like we're talking about the changes with shooting. There's also going to be some changes to melee, and I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work. I'm concerned about this because I play melee. You have to
challenge people again, Kevin, because I know you love that.
Well, yeah. So the heroic intervention steps of the combat have been revamped, and there's some optional stuff in here. So when you heroically intervene with a character, you can attack. You can specifically like direct your attacks at another leader. So it's kind of like that pseudo challenge system before. But the big thing is that the damage doesn't spill over. So you can target them, but you can't. It doesn't spill over like it currently does to the rest of the unit. So I think that's going to nerf melee a little bit, because like your dedicated melee monsters are going to go in, wipe out a character, wipe out a leader, but they won't be able to like have that damage spill over to the squad, which I don't know, feels a little weird.
I could actually no. I see this working because it's going to encourage you to play characters whenever possible, which is going to eat up some of your points. But then that means like your guardsman who takes like a company commander, yeah, he's probably going to suck in combat against like a Slaughterbound or whatever the World Eaters.
Yeah, Slaughterbound. Yeah.
It is Slaughterbound. Like he's going to get absolutely murked by the Slaughterbound, but he can like kind of die as a defensive last play, so that the squad can survive. There's some fun I can see there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a way to kind of tone down like the super aggressive melee characters and armies, which I don't know. I'm not stoked about, but
no, I can't imagine you would be.
The biggest one. This is the biggest area that I saw that was changed, and this is another one where I'm not 100% sure how this is going to play out. Vehicles appear to have been completely revamped. The toughness across the board for vehicles is much higher. It just feels like it's much higher looking at the stats. But the wounds, much lower. So I think it's going to be harder to hit vehicles, but once you hit them, you're going to do more damage. And you're going to take out more of a chunk of their damage.
If this is a more killy edition, maybe that's good with all the anti-vehicle guns that are out now.
True, that's true. Like, yeah, I didn't get a chance to look through all of the weapon profiles, so I don't know how prevalent. And again, this isn't going to be a full reset.
Don't take away my anti-vehicle guns.
Yeah, so I don't know how prevalent anti-vehicle guns are going to be, but if it's, if what it appears that this works with all the existing codexes, all of those existing guns are still going to work as anti-vehicle. So, yeah, vehicles are going to be in a weird spot.
This makes sense because if bolters are AP5, I mean, they're going to punch through vehicle armor like butter. But if the vehicle's really hard to wound, your bolter rounds will go through the vehicle, but they got to wound first, and you're only wounding on 6s. That's gonna cut down. Now, granted, with fewer wounds, it may be a wash, but that at least makes sense to me.
Yeah, like I said, I can see the different design philosophies. I'm interested to see how it's going to play out. The other thing I noticed, so for the last thing kind of on the core rules before we kind of move on to like some of the army updates. It appears that there's fewer base missions in the core book. I assume that just means that they're going to come out with the mission packs and chapter approved. I think Leviathan only had like, 5 or 6 standard missions anyway.
No,
so like
Leviathan only had that. Leviathan technically only had one. It had open war.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the one thing
and like everything else was going to be like, well, and they had like Leviathan had the tyrannic war missions for Crusade. So
that's true.
They may not be including that in this.
So it doesn't appear to be, at least in like when I'm seeing any like additional Crusade missions. So there's just kind of like, three layouts, 6 standard missions. And I'm assuming that more will be included in the chapter approved pack. At least in the missions listed in here, this is one that I thought was kind of interesting. They brought variable game length back. So
nice.
Yeah, when you get to the end of round 5, you roll to see if it, goes to round 6, and then you roll to see if it goes to round 7. So I kind of like that they're bringing that back.
The unexpected ending of a game, because I remember back in the day, you couldn't play for end of turn 5 because it might go on. So you had to always play like there might be another turn, except for 7. But by then there was not much on the board.
Yeah. The amount of times that I've lost because a game went to round 6.
Of course, if this is a killer edition, what are the odds that you actually like? I still think that's going to rarely come up because like how many like again if we're like lower wound counts, higher AP on some core weapons, it's like the chance that like your game will actually go to 5 may be rare.
Yeah. Well, I know I've seen a lot of games on, I guess, more on the competitive side, but sometimes narrative as well, where in 2-3 hours you only get like 3 turns in. So maybe making it killier, games will go faster. So maybe you can get to the higher rounds.
Yeah,
I think it's going to come down to the terrain rules, really, because are people going to be playing cagey or kind of like doing the, like how
a cage match terrain?
No, not that kind of cagey, but like there's the like hiding everything as long as possible and waiting for your opponent to come to you, or like just the way like melee armies had to play, where you had to like move from piece of terrain to piece of terrain and then get the charge on. Like it was very hard to do first turn back in the day. So maybe it's really going to depend on that to see how long games last.
Yeah, no, it definitely feels like it's going to be a killier edition and like a faster paced edition, which goes along with what we've been hearing, like a large emphasis on like fast attack and swiftness in this new edition. So I kind of like that. It's going to, hopefully this means like I honestly, I'll flip through and look here, but it doesn't, I don't know if I saw anywhere where it says like recommended time for each edition, each game, but maybe games will play faster. Well, maybe games play faster. If they can get games down to 2 hours, that's more that you can play in tournaments. You can play more often. I don't know. Like I'm excited to see what they can potentially do with this.
I don't know. They've promised that before and it hasn't paid out. So I'm going to withhold judgment on that.
Exactly. And like I said, I didn't see anything specifically in here like, this is what we say games will take. So I don't know. Maybe they've decided that's not worth including. Well, so that's like most of the core updates. I wanted to go through and hit some of the high level army updates. Again, like it doesn't appear that this is a full edition reset, so I don't have profiles in here or full data sheets in here. It's just kind of the profiles. But like I said, everything appears to be compatible with the previous edition. Which is good. I don't like having to buy new codexes. Sure, there's going to be plenty of new codex releases, but it's nice to be able to talk about other things instead of constantly being inundated with codexes. One thing I did notice with the Space Marine profiles that I thought was an interesting thing since we called it is there is no distinction between Firstborn and Primaris Marines in the profiles that I see. There's no Primaris keyword. There's just no difference. It appears that they have finally like completely folded Firstborn and Primaris Marines together into just the Space Marine profile.
I mean, no surprise there.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming, so I'm excited that they've kind of finally finished that transition phase. We talked a little bit about the Crucible of Champions. Like I said, it appears that a lot more generic characters with like tweaks and like little things that you can add. And doesn't appear to have the same restrictions of what units they can join. Again, kind of going with what we talked about earlier of just being a little bit more open with how leaders can join units. The other thing that I did notice, and this is the only part of the book that kind of gave me pause a little bit. I was reading through the army list, like the profiles page, and there's a couple of things in here that caught my eye, and I assume it's because they're making changes with their games. So first off, demons are included. They're not getting squatted. They're fully listed in here, all of their profiles, all of their units. It appears that they're fully part of the game still. And as mentioned with like the changes to bolt guns, they might be top tier because they don't immediately die to bolt guns. The other changes that I saw that I thought were very interesting, and maybe I have an incomplete document of this, but custodes were not listed. So which literally makes me think that they're going to move custodes just to 30K. We just got the new 30K releases.
That'd be consistent with what they've done with other things where it's like, oh, this is 30. This is legended now. So this is not going to be like core game. So I could see that. It's disappointing. I know there's a lot of people who probably, we saw how quick that set sold out.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people who are jumping on to start a custodes army and to find out, oh, it's not listed in the edition. They did have that post saying that, hey, custodes are going to be getting a new rule set in like the fall. So maybe they didn't want to include it in this book that comes out in the summer.
Yeah, that's true. But it's speculation as to why. But I hope it's not. They're fully just moving only to 30K. I also didn't see Imperial Knights in here. Imperial Knights, Chaos Knights, which I thought was a little bit surprising. It makes me wonder if they're moving those like fully to APOC and they're going to try to support APOC as a format, and move if just some of those larger
APOC. I am all for that.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I feel bad for Knights players who've gone all in, but Knights is one of those armies that it's either really fun to play against or it's really oppressive to play against. And there's not like a strong middle ground. So
yeah.
It is an odd choice considering that they had announced the Knight Destrier not that long ago, and the idea that they're not bringing them in. But again, maybe it's just they're going to roll out new rules for them in the fall.
Yeah, no, that's my hope because Knights are always an awkward fit in regular games of 40K, but they are super fun to play. So hopefully they find a home in APOC or somewhere. The other thing the last kind of army specific thing that I noticed was there was no specific like Imperial agents list.
Which isn't make you happy.
Yeah, like that isn't like uncommon. Like, okay, fine. They bounce around how they're handling Imperial agents. The one thing that I thought was very interesting though, is there's like an allies matrix. There's like a chart for like how the god-specific legions interact with each other, how the different Space Marine codexes interact with each other. And like, I assume that's probably how they're going to work with Imperial agents.
Backwards?
Well, so
Battle Brothers again?
Well, so what I'm assuming here is that this is how you would splash in things like Imperial agents, or how you would, because looking in here, like Guard and most of the Space Marines work together, so you can splash in stuff there. The Chaos factions appear to work.
Have those kind of mentioned in the detachments.
Yeah, it's. I'll be interested to see how this plays out because it makes me wonder if maybe they're taking the Allied Demons rules, for example, for the Chaos Legions, and standardizing them more and putting those in the core book, because maybe that's a way to make it easier.
That's not the worst idea. I mean, we've talked about how that would allow you to like reconstruct armies. Like we talked Dark Mechanicus. Like if you could drop Mechanicus into a Chaos army, maybe they don't work. Like there's not much synergy necessarily yet, but that might work. Yeah. Still, though, that seems like it's something beyond a detachment level rather than like army wide. But it's a change in design philosophy for sure.
It feels like they're moving a lot more of the design back to the core book and not the codexes, which I don't know how I feel about that. I like the fact that buying the codex, you had what you need.
If we're getting digital codexes, I'm all for it.
I mean, and obviously, like, who knows? Like, here's the thing. This is a digital version, so I don't know what that pretends as far as digital distribution of books and stuff. But maybe maybe they're trying to change the way they do this to streamline it a little bit more. Couple other things before we start, like, kind of deep diving. Just a few, like, other, like, things that I noticed about the book. Crusade is gone. No reference to Crusade in here at all. That's not
no skin off my nose. I'm fine with that.
It's not surprising to me, but I was just like completely gone, no reference to it at all. Maybe that's going to be something that comes out in, like we said, in the Maelstrom books, where we have like systems of narrative play through, systems of narrative play that come through on those narrative books, or maybe it's in codexes. But it appears that Crusade is gone as a method, as like a core of gameplay. The other one that is not listed in here anywhere is Combat Patrol. Like, it's not in here either. There's no reference to Combat Patrol. So it makes me wonder if they're going to release something separate, especially if it appears that they're going to be supporting APOC. Maybe Combat Patrol will be its own game method with its own like separate rules, and you've got kind of different tiers of how you play. You've got,
I don't know. That seems like a really iffy idea, because like the idea of Combat Patrol is it was the training wheels to get you into 40K, and Spearhead's been a big success for Age of Sigmar. It feels weird that they would just drop it entirely rather than revamp it or tweak it a bit. Are you sure this is the complete document?
I mean, there are some things that appear to be missing in here, but with like the profiles page and stuff. But I mean, I am 100% sure this is GW, official. Actually, that's the next point I wanted to make here. So rather than this is something that I definitely genuinely want to give kudos to GW for. Rather than listing it as the Games Workshop Design Studios, they actually have individual authors credited on the back page in here. So like I'm looking at it, it says, written by Adam Troke, Jeremy Vitok, and Matt Ward. Cover art by Alex Boyd. That is amazing. I am so glad that they're going back to actually crediting the individual authors and artists. And then I'm looking on here, copyright 2012.
Damn it, Kevin, you just read us the 6th edition rule book.
Damn it. Damn it.
What did you even look at the file name before you opened it?
It says here Warhammer 46th edition rules.
And who?
Okay, well, we can't release this episode, so this is scrapped.
No. We've had cursed episodes before. We talked about that before recording. We've had cursed episodes. Nah, I'm going with this, and if we have to let the rest of the world see that you were a fool on the episode we released in April, then I'm gonna do it.
You know what?
It will be our April Fool's Day episode.
I support that.
Sounds like a first.
April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day, everybody. From all of us here at Preferred Enemies, I'm your host, Rob.
Kevin.
Dennis.
And Richard.
Good night, good gaming, and stick around to the end of the episode for a special message. Hey, you stuck around to the very end of the episode. I'm surprised. That was a lot of kind of nothing you sat through, and I really appreciate your dedication to the bit. So
this is your special hidden track at the end of the CD. So
yeah. So this was our first April Fool's episode. Thank you for putting up with our shenaniganery. So we'll see you again next year.